Hello and welcome to another episode of The Raw Deal. My name is Boxer. I'm joined together by my favorite co-host and only co-host that's willing to actually work with me, Dictator. Dictator, how you doing?
Not too bad. Just been enjoying Doom still.
Nice. So we have this episode, and it's kind of in line with our wonderful E3. Now, if anyone's listening to this and doesn't understand what E3 is, E3 is the Electronic Entertainment Expo. It's specifically one of the big conventions that's done every year with you got Gamescom and you have the GDC Game Developers Conference, all these other video game entertainment focused gaming expos. This one's really got a big deal to it because it's one of the biggest, and it takes place in Los Angeles.
One
So
of the biggest, and I think one of the longest running too, right?
yes, one of the longest running. I mean, it's gone through its different stages and all that jazz, um, but in the end, it's still it's still one of the top best times to release information to the general public. So with that in mind, you have what do they call it? EA, Ubisoft, Bethesda, Sony, PlayStation, Sony, Microsoft, Activision, and Nintendo does their own thing. But all around this time frame, they release information and they do big presentations and all that jazz. And it's just a really good way for us gamers to get information about what's coming out. Um, so with that in mind, let's start going this in order, shall we? Um, Actually, before that, are there any overall comments you want to talk about, Dictator, on just
No, not really. I mean, I've got my notes here for the Microsoft and the Sony presentation, and after that, made a couple comments here and there on what I saw at EA's EA's conference. But I didn't exactly watch everybody. I just went and watched mainly Microsoft and Sony just to get kind of the sampler platter of what everyone is putting out.
okay. Let's in that case, I have some of my the notes up on some of the other stuff, so we can start probably in order. So a couple days ago on Sunday, might have been Sunday. It was Sunday. Uh, EA started the whole big E3 hoopla with their presentation, and just to really sum it up, they announced a bunch of titles, and one of the first titles they announced were where they showed the trailer to Titanfall 2, which comes out on October 28th.
That was interesting. I saw that one too.
It reminded me a lot of, and I'm going to date myself here, reminded me a lot of Exo Squad, actually.
Hmm. I can see that with the way the Titans designed actually.
Well, not only that, it talks to you more, and they're trying to give it a personality. These mechs, so
Yeah. The only personality I remember from the Mechs and Exo Squad was Dronsky telling him that he was too fat to fit.
in the very last episode, or one of the last episodes of Exo Squad, the chief, I forgot his name. What's the name of the main character?
Are we talking about the squad leader?
Yeah,
JT Marsh.
yeah. JT Marsh's mech was sacrificed, but it talked to him outside of being jacked in.
Hmm.
It was one of those leftover, never fully answered why it was able to hear and interact with him right before it died.
Hmm.
So that was kind of cool. So I don't know. I think that Titanfall 2 looks pretty good. Am I gonna get it? Not really.
It looks interesting. Actually, what it reminded me of Zone the Enders.
Oh, right.
In Zone the Enders, you had this experimental like super mech, and to help pilot it was an onboard AI with its own person. it had its own personality, but as the game went through, that personality developed more. And it's kind of like one of those stories of like the AI starting to become more human.
Right.
And you see instances of that in, I don't know if there's instances of it becoming more human or if it's just programmed that way. But in the trailer, you see scenes where you see the Titan AI is about to hurl the player across the chasm. And, the player isn't really, like, kind of confused, like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? And the thing just says, trust me, it throws them across the thing. And there's another instance where you see a player falling off of, a collapsing building or something. And the thing, like, leans over a railing and grabs him at the last minute. But it looks like there's going to be kind of it looks like the relationship between the pilot and the Titan AI is going to be quarters. But almost kind of like, in a way, it's also reminded me a little bit of The Last of Us.
I haven't played it yet, so I can't really comment on it. But
well, I mean, basically, it's like what kind of made me think of that was the focus on two characters rather than one character and a sidekick that's just kind of there.
Okay, true. I mean, I like the fact that they're on the single. My problem with Titanfall originally was a single player, no single player.
Yeah, that's why I didn't pick it up either.
But apparently there's supposed to be one this time around, so we'll see.
It looks good, and I can't say I'm going to get it day one, but I'm definitely going to give it a fair chance and see what it has to offer. See if it's worth about $60.
Yeah, or maybe $40 when price goes down.
Right.
And then there's Mass Effect Andromeda. There's a continuation of the Mass Effect series. Neither one of us, with a new protagonist, and neither one of us, other than I played Mass Effect 1 multiple times, but neither one of us are really big into this series. I thought it was a good series, I would say, but what's
I've read the wiki enough to have an idea of what's going on. It's just one of those, I just never got to it because there's just so many games already.
Yeah, and it's PC.
By the time it hit PS3 already had a pretty developed library.
Right. Now this was kind of a weird hand wave that EA did, but they semi-announced 3 Star Wars games in the works, but they very, very low on detail. So I don't even know why they wasted their time.
I mean, it was more like an interview with the development staff.
Yeah, it sounded like.
And to be honest, you know what? They screwed up with Battlefront. So I mean, when they made Battlefront, when they made the most recent one, they burned up all the goodwill they had with me with that franchise. So here on out, they have to prove their case. I don't care how great the developers say it's going to be. I need to see the final product before I get excited about it.
Okay. Yeah. No. Same here. But leaving the best for last, they showed a lot of information about Battlefield 1, and so.
Holy crap! Yeah, that was.
So go ahead. Go drool.
Barring them releasing the game with severe crash bugs, for me at this point, that's almost a day one buy right there.
Dude, I'll wait I'll wait the day 6 edition. I'll wait to see if the server can handle it and all that stuff. But
right.
Damn.
And I will say this: given I actually own a couple of the guns that are going to appear in the game, I'm going to be that guy that's going to be calling them out when I see the wrong model used. Like what they did in Indiana Jones Temple of Doom. The colonial soldiers that show up at the end, they're using British Lee Enfield, but the variant they were using didn't come into production until World War II.
You motherfuckers!
So yeah, it's like, wait a minute, that model doesn't exist yet.
Wow.
But yeah, no, I mean, they kind of did this a little bit with Uncharted, with kind of dynamic weather. Like you actually see clouds blocking the sun, but man, these guys took it a step further where from my understanding, you can play through the same. Like the weather's completely randomized. You play one level through. Like say your first playthrough, you do a level that takes place here, and the sun's out and it's all sunny. And you can play to your second playthrough, and it's gonna be like raining or foggy. And the fog will actually affect how far you can see. The rain's gonna affect your visibility. So I mean that's kind of I thought that was interesting. That was a pretty slick way to kind of bring the environment to life.
Yeah, no,
The other thing,
definitely.
I saw some of the sequences with the air combat on there. From the looks of it looks like it's going to be more like a flight sim control where it's posting the schedule the plane and stuff. It's not going to be too arcade, so I'm happy about that. Which kind of makes me wonder if there's going to be flight sequences, are you going to run into the Red Baron?
Dude, that would be awesome.
Is he just going to is there going to be a set piece at the end to wrap up the flight levels where he just comes out and blows you out of the sky? I don't know. That'd be interesting to see. I can't wait to see what they're going with that.
That'd be a fun death sequence. You're right. It's like, you get to the death sequence and then it just cuts away and then you see he just comes down and just destroys you.
Right. And as far as like the single player goes, it just looks good. I think I mentioned it before, but part of me really wants to see Hitler show up in the game. Like, because one of his jobs was he was a messenger, and what I really want to see is a scene where you're chasing a messenger down a trench and you're out of ammo, so you gotta stab him. So he gets away from you, and your commander says something like, "Oh yeah, that guy's gonna cause us a lot of trouble later on." And then the camera shows the messenger delivering his critical intel to destination. And the camera pans around, and we see that it's Hitler. Like you missed your chance to kill Hitler.
Right.
I really want to see that, but when I was looking at the modeling for the weapons, it was really hard to tell if they're accurate or not, just because during the videos they're just constantly moving around. So like, I was able to recognize the rifle as a Mauser 98, but I couldn't get a good enough look to see how accurate the modeling was. But I can verify that later when the game's actually out. And looking at the multiplayer, holy crap! Crashing a Zeppelin in the middle of the map, and then the Zeppelin's wreck becoming map features. Like, it doesn't just disappear or make a hole in the ground.
We'll see if they can pull this off.
Fight in like the burnt out ribs of the Zeppelin.
We'll see if they can pull this off.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, apparently it was supposed to be naval units too. They kind of hinted at, but they didn't really. Either I stopped watching when they showed up, or they didn't show it yet, so I didn't see them.
I did not see one, no.
Yeah. But yeah, supposedly they're talking about these super units, like the airship. I guess one of the big tanks is supposed to be one, and yeah, I guess some kind of naval ship. I don't know if it's going to be a cruiser, battle cruiser, or battleship. Now that will be interesting if there's a Battle of Jutland level there.
Yes.
I'd like to see how they pull that off, but yeah, holy crap! Everything I saw about Battlefield is. I remember when Doom was coming out, we were cautiously optimistic because we were worried that they're going to turn it into Call of Doom. So I'm literally more excited about Battlefield 1 than I am of Doom.
Ooh.
Just because it's literally something on a console hardly anyone has done before. I mean, yeah, on PC there were some games set in World War I, but we didn't really see that on console. And I mean, I'm also wondering, like, are there going to be levels where your character gets gassed?
Oh, there's gotta be.
Are there going to be levels where you're gassing somebody?
So
yeah, I mean, I'm definitely keeping my eye out for that one.
all right, that's cool, and I agree with you. Let's move on. But
there's one last thing though. What I really want to see out of this though is an Allied and Central Powers campaign.
You think they do that?
Because unlike World War II, the Imperial Germans weren't the Nazis.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
So I mean, there wouldn't really be much of a moral issue in playing a campaign as an Imperial German, fighting for the Kaiser rather than the Führer.
Well, we'll see what they end up developing. Moving on to the next one after that, after EA was Bethesda. Bethesda, the makers of Skyrim and the whole Elder Scrolls series and Fallout series. They also own id, so they announced a bunch of new things. They announced Quake.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So Quake's coming back, so that's going to be interesting. It's called Quake Champions, and it's another tournament play type of thing.
So it's going to be more like Unreal than the number game.
Probably, though they didn't really reveal much other than a trailer, so it's just we'll see what they end up doing with that. There's a thing called the New Colossus. No clue what that meant. Just kind of a hint. They're making a VR version of Doom, so that's supposed to be released with the HTC Vive.
Oh my God! If you're gonna play that game, you're gonna break your neck with that game. But how much you're gonna be looking around? Yeah, you're gonna be in a neck brace after an hour straight play.
The other one's this one's really huge, and some people say it's not really ready yet. Like it's not something they should do yet, but the Skyrim is being remastered. So they showed what Skyrim looked like in PS3 and then what it looks like in PS4, and the elemental effects just on its own is ridiculous. So, and if you're a true Skyrim fan and you had bought all the DLC for Skyrim, they detect that and they give you the game for free. So they're giving you the remaster for free, which I thought was really cool.
That's kind of cool.
Let's see. They announced Prey. I don't know if you remember Prey way back in the day. You remember Prey?
I remember of the game. I don't think I ever played it.
So that's cool. It's the main character is a guy who's an American Indian, and you get power. You have to fight demons, or whatever. And what was really cool about the original Prey was that there was no real true death. When you die, you get thrown into a new dimension where you got to fight your way out, and then you can continue the storyline.
Oh, right. And, that's cool. I don't really remember much. I kept confusing it with freaking what's that game? Is it Dark Souls?
Yeah.
Like a similar mechanic?
No, Dark Souls had two levels. You can be human, and then when you die, you lose your humanity because you're a demon, and then you could die as a demon, and you get true death. Dark Souls is a dick game. It's meant to be hard. It's meant to be you get hit 3 times and you fucking die. So don't die. It's like imagine if Mega Man was harder and 3D. Dude,
we're talking about Mega Man 1, right? Where there's freaking blocks that disappear?
Yes, and it literally... I mean, there's a reason why Dark Souls Special Edition was called Prepare to Die Edition. It's hard and hard on purpose. They announced Dishonored. They showed more of Dishonored 2 with the female protagonist. Neither of us have actually played that, so I'm going to move on. And then what I'm excited for is they announced more DLC for Fallout 4, including a new map called, or extension of the map called Nuke World, so that it's kind of like a theme park that's made after nuclear annihilation.
Yeah, that sounds like something they would do for that series.
And then they announced that Fallout Shelter, which I really think you'd enjoy playing, because you can get it on your phone. And it's basically, imagine a sim tower, but you also get to control the people in the tower. And
Right, yeah, you were telling me about that. I still need to get around to making space on my phone. I need to delete some of my podcasts.
Well, they just actually announced that they're going to make the desktop version, which I believe will also be for free. So
Okay.
you might as well just install, if you prefer on the PC, you can do that too. And they just
Well, it'd be nice if they had it on PSN, but hey.
Yeah, they're working on it. Well, it's only one step away. Once you get it on desktop, it's only one step away to get from there to console. And then finally, they announced that you can actually leave your bomb shelter and go on quests. So you go to new locations and fight your way through and get stuff. So I think that's actually really cool. Because before, in order to get new stuff, one of the things you do is kind of level up a character, give them equipment, and then send them off on their way. And then you can get like reports back, like, oh, I ran into this monster. Oh, I hurt my arm. Oh, I did. And then if you leave them out too long, they die, and then you don't get shit from them. So you want to be able to call them back so that they fight their way back in time before they die.
Right.
Because the further away, the harder it is to survive. So I guess with Bethesda, I'm more of the fan. So we can move on to Microsoft. Anything jump out at you? I know you have some notes for that one.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. I was really interested with the Play Anywhere thing that they announced. And basically, it's basically like a cross-play feature with Windows 10. So, like, if you say you buy I'm just gonna say Halo. Say you buy a Halo game.
Yeah.
For Xbox, you'd be able to play this on Windows 10 pretty much like anywhere.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
So yeah, say you buy Halo and you're at work and it's a slow day. Apparently, if you have Windows 10 on your thing, you can access the network and play it from there. I thought that was really interesting. It's kind of I don't see how that all plays out and what if it plays out well. I'm wondering what Sony's going to do to kind of, do their thing on it.
Well, it's going to be tough because it also comes down to licensing, right?
You know what? That I'm not sure.
Like, the Sony one, like, you can only play the Sony games and re-download them on activated systems. So you can only do it on two systems.
That's how it is right now, but I don't know if that has anything to do with what the developer wants, or just Sony trying to milk us for more money. So, it'll be interesting to see what they do, if anything, as this takes off.
Well, like, I don't know if you use Steam on Windows, but Steam, basically, you can only be logged on to Steam at one time anywhere on your account. So that means you can play your account anywhere as long as you log in, but it also unlocks you off on wherever your other location was.
Right. That's maybe I didn't catch it while compiling my notes, but I'm not sure if they addressed that or not, because I got the impression that it wouldn't automatically log you off of one thing or not. I'm not sure.
That'd be interesting. It would make
either way, the whole concept just sounded pretty fascinating.
Cool. What else?
They showed off a new Gears of War, and the visuals look great, like the weather effects on there. I remember back to last gen with the PS3 and 360. One of the things that kind of set the PSP apart was that it was better at handling, what is it called, particle effects?
Yeah.
Like, remember, in Killzone 2, there's that, after the nuke goes off, you can literally see ashes floating around the area. And the 360 wasn't able to handle that. Well, here, the level they showed was, it looked like some kind of hurricane or a tornado or something. And yeah, it was kicking stuff off all around. It looked good.
I'm sorry, you just made me think of, it's not that the wind it's blowing.
It's, what? For real though, it's a joke by Ron White. He was making fun of like some 60-year-old guy who was like super into fitness, and the guy says that he can withstand a class 4 hurricane if they tie him to a tree. And yeah, his reply was, hey, look, let me tell you something. It's not that the wind is blowing. It's what the wind is blowing. If you get hit by a ball, I don't care how many push-ups you did that morning. Which is funny you mentioned that, because the other thing I was going to go into was, on what they showed, there's some pretty great set pieces there.
Nice.
If you literally have one scene where you see your squad moving up, and they're taking cover behind some crates, and yeah, so the wind throws a piece of machinery up at against one of the guys taking cover. Like, it doesn't kill him, it hits his cover, but yeah, that's what the wind was blowing that day. I was looking at the mechanics of the gameplay, and it looks, I haven't played the prior game, but it looks to me like pure arcade. Like, what I mean by that is, when the character was firing off his rifle, there's no recoil.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's how it was for the previous games, but I mean, if it's pure arcade, I mean, great, it'll work out there. I think it was one of the new weapons was a circular saw gun, which you asked me is basically the saw gun from Resistance 2. It looked like you can shoot multiple circular saws and it'll ricochet and bounce around. The dialogue in there looked pretty good. It wasn't really annoying, like, sounded good. It wasn't annoying. It felt like you didn't see a lot of plays. So that seemed good. Then the next game they showed after that was a game called, I think it was called Far Eden. The other problem I have with these conferences in general, they show a game, but they won't tell you what the name of the game is until like halfway through the thing. To me, when I was looking at it, it just looked like Horizon Dark Zero. Like, it pretty much looks like Microsoft had to do that. But there was a couple levels there that looked like it was a metropolitan area, but it looked like kind of Blade Runner feel to it. Next one they showed was Final Fantasy 15, and oh my god, this was a train wreck if you ask me.
Wait, Microsoft was showing Final Fantasy 15?
Yeah, it's going to be multi-platform. I had no idea what was going on. The video was completely chaotic. They had a guy, they brought a guy up there to play the game, but to me, it just looked like they gave a guy control and said, here, don't die. Because all he did was kind of run around in a circle and get hit by the boss a couple times. So I'm like, okay, what are you doing? You're just getting smacked around by the boss. Like, what am I supposed to, what are you guys supposed to show me here? Like, okay, he attacked the boss once, that's it, okay. But what's going on here? Like, this is all out of context. And it just, like, kind of ended. I was like, that was stupid. It looked nice, I'll give it that, but the presentation itself was just dumb. They talked about Battlefield 1, but we already covered that just now, the EA thing. Well, for Microsoft, they're going to have live servers for it. It's going to have cross-network play. You'll be able to play your own background music on it, which I thought was something that you can already do on the Xbox One. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know you can do it on the 360.
I think it depended on the game, actually.
Yeah.
So.
Let me clarify with my bullet points here. The more servers, cross-network play, that's in general, not just the Battlefront. The other thing they brought up here was, I guess now I can change the language setting on your machine without having it depend on without changing the region at the same time. I guess that was a big deal. They're also going to introduce Cortana to the Xbox One OS.
Okay.
Other games they showed, well, they showed Killer Instinct, and I mean, to be honest, I've never played it, and like my go-to games were, Street Fighter, Guilty Gear, and Blaze Blue for 2D, and just Soul Calibur for 3D. But they did show they're gonna have some guest characters there. They got General Ram from Gears. One of the Battletoads, I think maybe it was it, and yes, of course, Master Chief. They also showed Forza, and man, that game looked freaking nice. I'll give it that. From some of the roads, it looked like there's going to be some open world roads, kind of. Like you're not going to be confined to just the racetrack. There's going to be a camping co-ed, which is kind of interesting to see how that works out in a racing game. And with the camping co-ed, you can send invites to your friends, and they'll instantly join into the race with you.
Okay, cool.
So that seems interesting. Mentioned you can have kind of a social media app called Club. Tell the truth, like the way they were describing it, it just really seemed like the kind of your standard issue that you'd expect out of a social media app. This was cool. The other thing they did was you can kind of put want ads now for multiplayer. So you can actually set up a bulletin board and, for example, say we fire a guy from our Call of Duty zombie team because he sucks and gets us killed all the time. We can put up an ad on live that says, "Hey, looking for experienced Call of Duty zombie killer."
Looking for people who suck less.
Yeah, looking for people that suck less than the guy we just fired. But yeah, there's also they're also setting up a thing called Arena, which is a tournament platform. I guess it's supposed to streamline setting up tournaments and stuff. Be interesting to see how that works. Oh, they showed off Tekken with Akuma. They had Akuma. Yeah, they had him facing off against Heihachi, and it looks like all of his moves are there and are kind of carried over intact.
Wait, did they do the Raging Demon?
Yes, at the end of the video, Akuma Raging Demon Heihachi.
That's
So
funny.
yeah, like all his the fire, the Dukin's there, Hurricane Kick, Dragon Punch. Even that kind of dive kick that he does when you push the height of a jump, you push medium down, and he does that kind of dive.
Yeah.
Yeah, even that makes the comeback, so interesting to see how that all works out.
That's cool.
They showed another Dead Rising, and it was pretty much like Dead Rising with a Christmas theme. I don't know if that's going to be like an actual, like a standalone game, or if it's, some large-scale DLC kind of thing. There's a new game out, I believe it's called Scalebound. It was made by Platinum Games, so the same people that made Metal Gear Rising. And it kind of looked like Devil May Cry / Metal Gear Rising, that sort of hack and slash action platformer thing. But they had dragons in there that added to the game mechanic. Like they kind of added, you can ride them around and use them to attack. And you apparently look like you can use them for assist. You can call them in for backup and stuff. And I couldn't tell if it was just if it was friendly AI, but you did have partners in this particular level where they're attacking. It looked like a giant spider. So it could be co-op, so that would be nice. Then they showed off Sea of Thieves, which basically it looked like a pirate MMO, like you and your buddies are the crew of a ship. In the demo they were showing the guys that got their ships sunk. Then they showed off a game called State of Decay or State Decay. They just kind of showed off people kind of traveling around in a post-apocalyptic landscape. And if anything, it looked like The Last of Us. Then at the end, I saw some some more news here. Oh yeah, they showed off the new Minecraft. So they have dedicated servers. It's gonna be Oculus compatible, and they actually had Carmack himself out there demoing the Oculus Rift.
Hey, good old Carmack.
Yep. So you're gonna have a cross-play between tablets, the Xbox, and Oculus, and you can have them all play like in the same world. And so one of the things they did was, someone can create like their own realm, and your buddies can come in and play around in it even when you're not logged in.
Oh, yeah, that's cool, I think.
They showed a couple indie stuff. There's one game in there, I think it's called Inside. It was kind of it's called a Happy Few. And it had this really like Brave New World feel to it. Like you had a guy, it starts off in your character's sitting there looking down at his job, and it seems looking down his workstation, and it seems like he's going through some kind of withdrawals, and he's about to take the pills for it, but then he decides not to. Then somebody comes up to him and basically asks if he's taking his pills. He says no, and then throughout as the game goes, he starts seeing like just weird stuff, like random acts of violence. And then finally at the end, they're there at a pinata for some office worker's birthday party, and everyone else is bashing the pinata. And, the character from earlier asked, like, he's going, hey, hit the pinata. And, at first you look down and you see it's a pinata. I think I looked up a couple of times. But then when you look down, it starts to look like, I think it was like maybe a baby or something. It looked like something that was alive. And then your guy just kind of like loses his shit and kind of at the end of the demo. So it looks like it's going to be sort of a horror theme to it. We'll see. Then I don't know where this is from, but apparently it was kind of it was basically like a card game in Final Fantasy VIII. But apparently they're releasing a card game called Gwent as a standalone game. And watching the demo as somebody who has no idea what this is, it looked like Magic the Gathering.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Then they announced Halo Wars 2, which the thing that caught my attention the most with that is apparently Creative Assembly is working on it. They're going to have some involvement, so they're the ones who make the Total War series. And let me see, is there anything else here on the Microsoft?
What about the new hardware?
Yeah, I was gonna see if there's any other games before getting into that. But yeah, they announced the Xbox One Slim, and let's see. So something about it's going to be 4K and high fidelity VR compatible. 6 teraflops GPU. Can be able to render stuff at 60 hertz. You can have 8 CPU cores, and they have no intention of replacing the base model with it.
What?
So they're going to go forward with both models. They got the presentation, Phil Spencer, whatever his dude's name was. He was announcing it as the most powerful video game console. Now, here's what I'm wondering. They made the first move, so what's Sony gonna do? Like, are they too far along the lines of the Neo's development to tweak the hardware, or are they gonna do what I did, take notes and be like, okay, make it just a little bit stronger. just to troll them. Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. The Neo wasn't there at Sony's conference, so who knows how far along the development that thing is. So do you want to cover any of the PC stuff? Did you check any of that out?
No, I didn't check any of that out. The PC kind of, in terms of stuff on E3, the PC is kind of bland.
Yeah.
But I wanted to mention, actually, nothing else. I think Microsoft with their hardware, we'll see what they do. I mean, they're releasing the Xbox One Slim, but they're also releasing a new Xbox One next year that can do 4K.
Oh no, the Slim is the 4K one from what it looked like.
Oh,
I'm
no,
not
no,
sure what
sorry.
that means. Are they gonna make a Xbox One base slim and
No.
then their 4K machine, or
Based
the
on
Xbox One, fat and yeah.
No, based on what this article says, because I didn't catch all of the Microsoft one, it said that they're releasing a Xbox One Slim that's 40. That's the same as the Xbox One Fat, but slimmer, and then they're going to release an upgraded version of the Slim with the 4K. So there's two Slims, one now and one a year and a half from now.
Okay.
So it's like,
All
okay,
right, well,
you can buy it or
the
you
only
can wait.
thing. Am I gonna buy it? Probably not, and not because like these days I really don't care. Back when the Xbox first came out, I wasn't too warm towards it, only because I was running Windows Millennium Edition at the time, which made me freaking hate Microsoft. It was such a piece of crap. So I mean, nowadays, the main reason why I'm probably not gonna get it is because I can't afford to buy two consoles and it support two consoles.
You can't? Why not?
I don't know, maybe if I started selling drugs on the side, maybe.
Ah, see there, you're just not thinking ahead.
I need to start selling blue meth. Okay, so yeah, the only thing I was thinking place between Microsoft and Sony's show was the PC stuff. Do you want me to go into Sony or do you want to talk about Nintendo?
Let's talk about. I want to bring up a few things from Ubisoft, just because I have some games that I'm looking into for there. So
Okay.
Ubisoft is between Microsoft and Sony. Actually, let's do it. Sorry, I'm gonna quick change the thing. We're gonna do Nintendo. Nintendo talked about Zelda. That was it.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't really show anything else new, and they did
They
Zelda.
didn't say anything about the NX or the new machine?
No, they're being mum about that right now.
Huh.
Oh, sorry, Zelda and the new Pokemon. So that's it. There's Pokemon Sun and Moon, and then a Pokemon mobile game that's already out in Japan, and I'm expecting to play it when it comes to the US, because you basically it's augmented reality, so it lets you know that there's a Pokemon 40 feet from you, type stuff.
Huh. Okay, interesting.
And you get to lift your phone up and you can see the Pokemon on your phone and you try to capture it and do all the other Pokemon thing stuff, but it just kind of encourages time out in the sunlight. So I might look into that. But with that in mind, that's Nintendo, Zelda, and Pokemon right now.
No, okay. Whenever I think of Pokemon, am I wrong in thinking of this? But it seems like whenever I think of it, it's like a virtual version of dog fighting or cockfighting, which is like a PG, a rated G skin.
Oh no! It really is that. You're
like it's like dog fighting with a G-rated skin over it.
Yeah, it's dog fighting in the era of G.I. Joe, where they don't die; they just kind of get off screen.
Man, somewhere there's gonna be that dickhead who goes under M. Vic.
Man.
Little kids are gonna be like, "Oh, his name is Vic." Parents are like, "Oh man, that guy's a dick."
Yeah, true though. True that. Let's see what else. That's Nintendo. So Ubisoft. I just want to do a quick thing here. Ubisoft has this notion that they want to stay relevant. So they introduced Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. Not that does anything for anybody. It's just a thing. But good to know. They also introduced what I was really expecting, which is kind of cool, is South Park: The Fractured Butthole. Get it? The Fractured Butthole.
Yeah.
Get it? Yeah, I get it. Okay. And then, but what I was looking forward to is Watch Dogs 2. Because
Well, I'll give him a chance to redeem himself for the first one.
takes place in San Francisco. Fully
Which
fledged.
is probably the closest I'll ever get to moving back there for various reasons.
But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. Other than that, that was it really for them. So let's talk about good old Sony. Last big one.
So yeah, they started off with they had who's the guy who does the music for Battlestar? Bear, what's his last name?
Bear Grylls. No.
No.
Bear McCreary.
That's the guy who goes on to the boonies and sings his own piece.
Bear McCreary.
Yeah, they had him there conducting an orchestra.
Yeah, that's what someone said. Like, Microsoft did the whole like hardware and then some games thing. Sony is like, screw this. We're gonna make this a full immersive experience. We're gonna have a full orchestra conducted by Bear McCreary and like fucking just games.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna get into that. Sony just pretty much crap games on your face.
Okay.
It's just Bukaki games all over you.
All right, so you hold that thought. I gotta take a piss.
Man.
Talk to the audience.
Okay, so while that guy is doing his thing there, yeah, so they started off with a full orchestra playing as their speakers came in. Until he gets back, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the general feel of the conference. Part of me kind of wishes they talked a little bit more about the PlayStation VR and what they have in store for rather than. I mean, it was great. They showed us the games they were going to show for it, but I mean, now the whole thing. What's the long-term plan for this thing, and what other features are they going to include for this? Like, for example, are you going to be able to use it as a kind of a mount-on headset, the way you can use the Vita as sort of a second screen. Say you got people, say your roommates have people over that you're not really friends with them or nothing. You just want to sit there and chill, but they're watching something on a DVD or they're playing somebody's Xbox and you don't have access to your TV. Can you put the VR headset and use that as a second screen, play your game? I don't know.
I'm back.
Hey, are you back yet? Okay.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
I was just going into how they mentioned some of the games for the PlayStation VR, but they didn't really talk about the VR itself. And one of the questions I was kind of posing and throwing out there was, would you be able to use the PlayStation VR headset as an extra screen the way you can use the Vita?
You know what? It would not surprise me if they did that. It kind of makes too much sense, but we'll see. I mean, right now, Sony is the golden child, so they can do no wrong until they actually do wrong.
All right, so starting off, yeah, they had start off with a new God of War, which we're not really sure if it's going to be like a sequel, a reboot, soft reboot, or what. But it starts out, you see a kid playing with some toy soldiers, and then you hear a voice calling him to come back inside. And out of the shadow, you kind of see a hand gives him a knife. It's like, this is your mother's knife. Now it's your turn to use it. And he tosses him a bow and says, go hunt the sinner or something. And as the person speaking walks into the light, you see it's Kratos with a beard. So.
Now, are we going to assume that that's Kratos' son?
We don't know.
Because he could just be like the creepy uncle it could be the uncle. Because I thought he had a family that got destroyed, which is what kind of partly set him down his path.
Yeah, that's what set him off the rampage. So, some of the theories I've heard was, maybe this is alternate, maybe this is a prequel to what led up to that, or maybe it's an alternate alternate timeline where he doesn't kill his family. Let me ask you this: you played more of the series than I have. Was there any Norse mythology references to God of War?
No. That's new. That's actually new for this one.
Yeah, because that was one of the things that caught my attention was as Kratos and his son are going through the forest, they ran into this troll, and most of what he's talking is kind of like that really like filtered. Mostly sounds like growling gibberish, but if you really pay attention, it's really speaking. I caught him say Valhalla. So I'm guessing it's probably going to be some kind of reboot. Maybe rebooted into now it's going to have Norse references to it, which I'm okay with. In terms of graphics, it looked at least as nice as Uncharted 4. And the thing that stood out to me was during the fight sequences, I didn't notice any QT input prompts. So I'm cautiously optimistic that they got rid of that, because QTE was basically the main reason why I never got into the series. I freaking hate QTEs. Yeah. Then this was kind of stupid on their part, but they showed a short clip for a game called Days Gone. They showed a short clip and then they just kind of left it at that, only to come back to it later on. So I'm going to talk about the whole thing now.
All right.
So it looks like he said kind of post-apocalyptic, kind of sort of Last of Us kind of style setting. The lead guy is a biker, it seems, and it looks like there's actually going to be some open world elements to that. Yeah, there's going to be some open world elements to that. There's going to be some scavenge mechanics. We see one scene where the guy is going through a truck engine, and it looks like he makes a suppressor out of oil filter. Don't think that'll work in real life, but that's what happens here in the game. And yeah, it looks like a typical kind of zombie virus got out of hand and infected and mutated everybody. One thing I noticed was there is a lot of attention to detail on the modeling for the firearms in the game. It's an over the shoulder third person shooter. So you got a good look at there's an AR/M16 platform gun. And while he was shooting it, you could literally see the bolt inside the gun working back and forth and ejecting the casing. Usually, you just kind of see this slot there, and you see the casing fly out of the slot. Here, you can actually see the bolt working back and forth. Yeah, I mean, it's that small amount of detail that just impressed me right there. Like, wow. Next thing they showed was showed a video there, Last Guardian. Gave it an October 25 release date, which I guess is a big deal since I think that game was in development hell for a while, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. And then there's Horizon Zero Dawn, and they showed more gameplay on there. The character models in that game was just damn. You see the chick running through, and you see her hair waving around, and you see the skirt she's wearing waving around too. Instead of just kind of, just hanging off of her, but I know it actually kind of like flows with the wind sort of. The scene they had dialogue options there. So she was talking to one guy, and he had 4 different options to some of his questions. So I'm not sure if that can mean that there's going to be multiple paths and multiple endings, depending on what you say. It looks like it's going to have a sort of Metal Gear Solid 5 style open world.
Okay.
Like, it didn't quite look like GTA. Like, it looked a little bit more constrained. But it still kind of felt like it was going to be an open world game. It wasn't like Uncharted where, it's obviously a very limited space to run around. And the other thing that made it that caught my eye is you can now hack and ride the wild robots. There's a scene there where she runs up to it kind of looks like a cross between a horse and a bull. And she hacks the machine and she basically rides it like a horse. And I didn't notice, speaking of the character, she does talk to herself a lot like Drake. And here's the thing that kind of, got me curious. I think the robots in the game that we see, I think they might be self-replicating.
That would make
Because
sense.
She runs into a boss that looks a lot like the Scorpion Guard boss in Final Fantasy VII, the first boss in the reactor. It looked a lot like that, with 4 legs and a tail, like 4 kind of spider legs and a tail. And the thing that she says after she kills it, she takes a good look at it and says, "This looks ancient." So that kind of got me thinking, like, wait, does that mean if the robots we saw running around that she attacked in last year's E3, if they don't look ancient, does that mean that these machines are self-replicating? That'll be something to see. And after that, they showed off a game called, I think it was Detroit Become Human, which is actually pretty interesting. It kind of had a detective story feel to it, kind of like, how was that game? That took forever. LA Noire. That's on the gameplay footage they show. You're looking at, you have the guy investigating different clues here and there. And so they made a really big emphasis on that different multiple paths. So the Become Human title comes from the fact that your character is an android. And going back to the multiple paths, they're showing all these different outcomes. One of them is, the situation is you have one android kind of went berserk, but it took a kid hostage. So your guy is doing hostage negotiating. Some of the outcomes there is the hostage taker shoots your android in the head and shuts you down. Another one is you shoot the guy. Another one is you manage to talk the guy down. Another outcome is you rush the guy, pull the kid away from him, but at the same time you go off the building with him. So it looks interesting, but I'm wondering how they're gonna keep the whole thing quick. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of those books from the 90s, those choose your own adventure books from the 90s. You remember those? They're like, you get to a fork and it says if you choose to do this, go to page 20. If you choose to do this, go to page 50.
Yeah, I remember those.
It felt like they took that and turned it into a video game.
I ain't complaining. That's pretty good.
So, it looked interesting. I'll definitely, if they take the detective element and they take that a step further than from what LA Noire did, yeah, it definitely has my interest. I like that kind of investigative sort of stuff. And then there was Resident Evil, and holy crap. They only showed some footage of the demo at the conference, but you can actually download the demo for it right now. It's actually out. And I was watching a YouTuber, Alpha Omega Sin, who was playing it. And it has the same feel as like Silent Hill 2. You're stuck inside a house, and it's just creepy. You're in this dilapidated house. It's just this creepy ass atmosphere. And I wasn't even playing. I was watching somebody else playing. And the atmosphere was making me paranoid. So he's like walking down to the scene talking about how he's expecting something to come out and eat his face. And I'm expecting the same thing too. Like, I'm kind of sitting there just like, oh, you're going to get killed, you're going to get killed. Something's going to happen.
Oh my God, you're going to die.
Right? Oh, and here's the thing that's really going to give me nightmares. VR compatible.
Yeah, dude.
Play Silent Hill 2 in VR.
I can do it, man.
If the rest of the game is anything like this, like the freaking trailer here, people are gonna have to go to therapy if they can play this game in VR. So yeah, they get a release date of January 24th.
Okay.
And they gave the PlayStation VR a release date of October 13th. Apparently there's going to be 50 games compatible with it at launch. They demoed Farpoint, which is kind of a futuristic shooter. The level they showed was a desert world. And the thing they showed off there was that you can literally move your head around independent of which way the gun is. By that I mean, like your typical FPS, wherever you look, you're always pointing your gun that way. Here, you can actually look around and have your weapon pointed elsewhere. Which I'm kind of wondering, that could open up some interesting things in terms of combat. So you can say you're firing towards something. I'm wondering if that lets you continue firing on that target while still scanning your area. Like, a quick look behind you, make sure no one's coming up, or a quick look around for there's an escape route. So I'm kind of, interested to see just what kind of new tactics and strategies using, the VR and an FPS could yield.
It's called a headache. That's what it could yield.
Well, I mean, yeah, especially if you're playing like freaking Doom, that's gonna wreck your neck. Let's see, okay. They showed off it was only a video, no gameplay, but Battlefront X-Wing VR mission. So I am cautiously optimistic about this. Given that, I'm interested and, I love the X-Wing games. So, I'll give it a look, but like I said, they burnt me on Battlefront, so they gotta prove it, but I'm listening. And it was the X-Wings they showed were the T-65, like the one Luke flew, not the T-70s that Poe was flying. So I'm not sure if that means it's only gonna take place during the Galactic Civil War period, or if it's gonna also go into and have missions during the First Order period. We'll see. Batman Arkham VR, which is pretty much what it sounds. And then they showed off Final Fantasy 15, which, watching this one compared to the Microsoft conference, you can tell which company got favored. They showed off riding the chocobos. They showed off planes. They showed off more gameplay in the fight sequences. It looks a lot like Final Fantasy Type 0, which came out here on PS4, but also in Japan on PSP. And the way this game played, it kind of reminded me of something like Star Ocean. You have free control over your character, meaning you can run around the map. You're not just kind of, it's not like old school Final Fantasy where you can't control where they move. You just tell them, attack, item, spell. But also, it seems like if it's anything like Type 0, you'll be able to move the character around and jump from different characters. Like, switch over to control one guy directly, switch over to control another character directly. So, the battle sequences look interesting. There's a sniper mechanic now, it seems. There are a couple sequences there where you're using a guy who has guns, and it went to like a kind of scope mode. Now, I don't know if it's only going to be for VR or if it's going to be available on non-VR. So, either way, it looked good. I still got my attention. Nothing on there really kind of put me off just yet. And then there's Call of Duty, which made me kind of angry at Activision again, because they pulled the bait and switch on everybody. So they showed the video, and it basically started is you have your guy getting his orders, heading down to the the ship hangar, getting into a space fighter, and launching off into combat. And I'm watching this thinking, new space flights. Then this is interesting. It'll be like colony wars back in the day. And then you have your guy jump out of the thing, jump out of the fighter, and it's the same old Call of Duty. It's called Halo is what it is now. It's literally same shit, different day. I mean, I was watching the video, and oh man, like as far as the gameplay goes, it doesn't look like anything that we haven't seen before. Like, it's just like, no freaking wonder that they're getting hella reamed on their YouTube videos compared to Battlefield. Like, space combat, yeah, Halo 2 did it. There's literally nothing there that we haven't seen before at one point or another.
Yeah.
So, I actually went, here's the funny part, too. After they showed the thing, the reaction was freaking muted. It was like, But, there were a couple of new things that you actually did. There is a shield mechanic now where, I'm not sure if it's something equipable or if it's just default this button, but your character can now put a shield up. I'm not sure how that all works. Like, will it have limited durability and then you have to find a new one? Will it have unlimited, but only certain guns can shoot to it, like a la Resistance, where you have that energy shield, but certain guns can still pass through it. And with some of the weapon designs, I thought it was crap too. One of the firearms that the player was using looked like it was based off the M16. This is supposed to be in the future. The design for the M16 comes from the freaking 50s.
Wow.
Yeah, the M16, the AR-15, the design for that weapon, usually Stoner literally designed that weapon in the late 50s. This is supposed to be like in the 2200s or something like that, like way off in the future, and they're still using designs based on this. You freaking kidding me? Like, okay, that's just like, okay, what? Did they just messing around with an M16 skin from a previous Call of Duty? Like, the response to that one just said it all. Like, literally, like, nobody cared. It was almost like the reaction, it was like a pity reaction. Like, oh, yeah, we're going to cheer and clap a little bit, just so you don't feel too bad. Okay, moving on. New Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
They're bringing Crash back. They're going to remaster 1, 2, and more. And the new game looks like it's going to be a crossover with Skylander. You have a character creator. You can make your own Skylander. I can't really go too much into it, but they are bringing him back. Then there's Lego Star Wars for Episode 7. And Kojima made his appearance at the Sony conference.
Yeah.
If you really want to see just how little people care about Call of Duty, after their muted response when Hideo Kojima came out, he wasn't even all the way on the stage, and the place freaking lost their shit. So he showed off a new game with what's that guy's name?
Norman Reedus.
Yeah, where the video showed Mr. Norman balls naked, lying on a beach with dead whales and stuff around him. He finds a baby, and he picks up the baby, starts cradling it, but then as the camera pans in towards the space, it zooms in on the space, He pulls back away, and the baby is gone, and his hands are empty, but there's like black slime on his hand. And he sees like these, like black handprints crawling down his leg. I don't know, because he's in a sitting crouching position. That was kind of it, but just that little bit there, I got the kind of Silent Hill 2 mind screw from that video. So I'm guessing it's doing something. I'm guessing it's gonna be like a spiritual successor to what was gonna be Silent Hills.
Yeah, that was the original idea. Like that's.
Yeah, maybe it's another way to get the finger to Konami.
Yeah, I really think like some people are saying that because he was so unceremoniously like relieved that they're like, yeah, we're gonna stick it to him.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the next game he made was, you know, the successor to Zone of the Enders. Like he just starts making all the games that Konami wouldn't let him make.
Man, dick move, but really good move.
You know, speaking of Kojima, is this just me? Does that guy have a thing for naked guys?
He might.
Because like, we got Metal Gear Solid 2, where the main character Raiden, there's one point in the game he gets stripped of his uniform and he's running around the level, balls like butt ass naked. There's a codec conversation in Metal Gear Solid 3 where if you unequip your like the camouflage jacket where he's topless, and you call up the your weapons expert, Snake will ask the guy if there's a way he could take off his pants. What else, my baby? Yeah, and you can do the same thing for Peace Walker and Metal Gear Solid 5. You can unequip the top part of the uniform. It's like, and then I got naked Norman read it. I was like, okay, you have something for naked guys. I'm noticing. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just something funny. So after that, they showed off Spider-Man, which technically the last game they showed off. It's going to be developed by Insomniac, same guys who made Resistance and Ratchet & Clank. And that was it. They showed off the part about Days Gone that I mentioned, and it just kind of stopped. Now, one of the things that's been tossing around in my head is, okay, Sony's already confirmed the Neo exists, and Microsoft just unveiled the Scorpio.
Yeah.
So what I'm wondering is, what path is the console market going to take from here on out?
I think it's going to be the same path. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, Review Tech USA was kind of mulling over the same question. He was thinking that they might do a subscription-based thing like what cell phone companies do. What I'm thinking is, because when you look at the PS3 and the 360, that seventh generation was kind of a weird anomaly for lasting as long as it did. In typical console hardware, the typical console generation lasts about what, 5 to 6 years?
Yeah, that one was pretty long.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking is they're going to do kind of something in between. Like, they're going to have their base models now, which are going to go the full lifespan. But they're also going to have, they're going to release like a, 0.5 update at that, where the original cutoff date was, like that 5-6 year mark, because we're coming up on that for the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Yeah, I think it's going to be iterative upgrades, just like how phones are now, and they'll just continue doing it that way.
Yeah, and then when it's the next generation, like 10 years from now, okay, buy the new one.
Yep.
I mean, me personally, I'm planning to hang on to my PS4 up until either A, it dies, or B, we start seeing games that will only run on the Neo. which, I mean, so far, Sony and Microsoft are kind of on the same page on that one. It's saying, like, we're not going to split the user base.
Makes sense.
Yeah, Microsoft pretty much announced that as their thing, and Sony was already saying, there's going to be games are going to have to run on both either base mode and a Neo mode, which I don't see why that would be a big deal anyway, considering like what you did a PC game and there's like 200 different display settings.
Yeah, right.
High, low, high, medium, low, custom. If you have this size monitor, there's refresh rate, like you spend more time.
VSync.
You spend the first half an hour of just setting your freaking video settings. So I don't see why they can't do that with a console and just have fixed settings. This is like when they put it on GameFlix. So right now I don't think it's gonna be a big deal. So I'm not too feeling like I got ripped off just yet. But yeah, I didn't. Do you know who had their shows yesterday? Because I kind of stopped after Microsoft and Sony.
Sony was the last one yesterday. The Nintendo was this morning.
Did Rockstar or anyone do anything else?
Nope. It was a pretty light E3 this year.
Okay. Because I've been hearing rumors of Red Dead Redemption 2. So I was kind of wondering if anything on that got announced.
Nope, not that I've seen. So,
a couple other things that we have to catch up on, but I know have happened was they had some of the guys at Sega talking about Yakuza 0. I have to follow up on that. That's kind of all I really have for E3 right now. I mean, I might get think about stuff a little bit more, learn some more little bits of information within the next couple of days. But so far, I mean, if they were gonna ask me, who won E3? I don't know. It seems like both everyone kind of. The only time I really consider somebody quote unquote winning E3 is whenever Sony just freaking destroys somebody. Like back in '95 when Sega did their conference for the Saturn, and all the guy did from Sony was come up say we did $299 and everyone just lost their shit.
Yeah.
Or freaking when for the Xbox One reveal, when all Sony was talking about games and how you can how old was it? They didn't have that DRM crap. Yeah, it didn't need to be online only. But yeah, I mean Microsoft showed us some really interesting stuff, like freaking their Play Everywhere. I really want to see how that plays out. And then Sony just deluged everybody with freaking games. Like, holy crap! I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna buy that. That looks interesting. That looks interesting. No, because it's Call of Duty, and I'm tired of that crap. And then okay, that was good. That was good. So I mean, that's that's what they had to offer. I mean, everything I've seen, I'll put it this way. Of all the stuff I've been watching, there's really, aside from Call of Duty, there's really nothing there that kind of, put me off.
That's good.
I mean, the only thing I was kind of disappointed for was we didn't see Gravity Rush 2 and we didn't see Ace Combat 7. But we might see that at Tokyo Game Show.
Gravity Rush 2, Ace Combat 7. Yeah. Yeah. And
Ace Combat 7 might be the thing that gets me to buy a PlayStation VR if I do. They're going back. From what I can tell, they're going back to classic Ace Combat. They're going back to their fictional world. If Infinity is anything to go by, they're going back to classic gameplay. So it seems like they're just kind of going to forget that Assault Horizon even happened, it seems.
That might be good.
Yeah, considering that game was garbage. Every time I fill out Assault, I'm always capitalizing the first three levels of it. I'm always capitalizing the first three letters of Assault. Because that's what this game is. But, yeah, you know, being able to play a flight sim with a affordable VR headset, not nuking my bank on a PC rig, yeah, you know, that might be what gets me to do it. But, you know, we'll see.
All right, I think we're at a good stopping point.
Yep.
Rating this E3 versus some previous ones, I'd say this is kind of like the maintenance level E3. Nothing really blew my socks
I
off,
agree.
but nothing really blew my socks off, but it continued my faith in the video game industry. That's, I think, where I'm at with this.
I will say, you know, if there's two things that really blew my nuts off, it would be Horizon Dark Zero and Battlefield 1.
I really want The Last Guardian. I've been waiting for that for 6 years now. So I'm glad that they finally have a release date. I hope it doesn't become
October
4th, I think.
it was.
And I really hope that it's not a Duke Nukem Forever situation.
Oh, God.
And then I'm really, you know, just looking forward to hopefully just getting some good gaming out there. I mean, every announcement, every company, whatever, had something that I was looking forward to. So maybe there's an Xbox in my future. I'm not sure, but we'll see. All right.
Yep.
Any last words?
You know what? We're going to have some good stuff coming out the next couple months. Like, if you haven't bought a PS4 or an Xbox One at this point, now it's coming up the time to get one.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Horizon Dark Zero looks freaking great. All the other Sony exclusives here. The new God of War looked great. Forza looked really nice. Like you know, if you were to show footage from that game next to a TV show, you'd probably barely be able to tell the difference.
Next to Top Gear.
It looks really good, and you know some of the other stuff they have there. There's like that one Microsoft, that one Xbox game I really want to. It looks interesting. Yeah, the one I mentioned, I felt like they kind of looked like Last of Us, Far Eden. That one looked pretty interesting. Like, you know, if that was cross-platform, multi-platform, I'd definitely check it out. Same with Scalebound. Just because I like their work on, I like Platinum's work on Metal Gear Rising. So, I mean, yeah, we're coming up at that point where I remember when the PS4 came out, I always held off on buying it just because from my experience with the PS3. Oh, I got a great new system, but I have all of 2 games to play for it. Then you go buy some more games. I got money, but nothing to spend it on. So we're getting to the point where we're past that phase now, to where the libraries are getting better. So now's not a bad time to pick up either one of them.
Yeah.
And on that note, I'll close with, you know, ultimately someone's going to be wondering, you know, what's the difference? And at this point, when people ask me which one they should get, I just look at the exclusives they have and see which one do you like more. I mean, do you like Halo more, or do you like Uncharted more? So basically that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's time to pick up one of these machines. You know, prices are starting to go down too. So, yeah, that's about it.
Yep. And for me, I'm just going to try not to get broke. Alrighty. For Boxer and for Dictator, we're signing off and catch you guys a little later. Peace.